Or you can keep talking.
Lighting, all right? Sure.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah, you straight. I got a dark spot on me, but it's because I don't, man, my lamp, I gotta get a new cord for it. The little light that I would use right here, because the cord broke. My daughter broke it, man. Frustrating.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, it's been broken for a year at least. I just never got another cord for it. It's a good lamp. I got it off Amazon. I liked it, but it's what it is. Yeah. You good?
Yep.
All right. And you can hear me clear? I can hear you clear.
Well,
all right,
you
cool.
hear me?
Yep. All right, what up? We're gonna go ahead and get into it. This is the Rick and Jordy podcast, and I'm one half of your host, Jordy. And
I'm the other half of the host, Rick.
Right. So this is the podcast where we're just gonna basically go down rabbit holes with you. We'll be doing some stuff right here, looking things up, whether it be stories or just random searches. And we're gonna have a little conversation about it and get it going. So first of all, we're in 2 different time zones. So, navigating this and able to get connected, it's not difficult because we have this, we have, things like Zoom or whatever, but we do have to be mindful of of time, because if I want to start this mug at 6 o'clock and then Rick is just not getting off work, it ain't going to work. Right. So,
exactly.
Yeah. So time is an interesting thing. We were talking a little bit before.
So what, first off, sorry to interrupt you.
No, you good.
But before we get too far, what time zone are you in?
Central. Is that what it's called? CST? Central? Yeah.
CST, Central Standard Time? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in MST, so Mountain Standard Time. So what, we just an hour difference, like you said. So not too big of a difference. So not like coast to coast, but it's I would say significant enough that like you said, we got to be mindful of it.
Yeah. Wait. Hold on. So like MST, that's not the same as like California though, because aren't they like 2 hours behind? Like behind
exactly. Me. Yeah. So they're 2 hours behind, and they're an hour behind me, obviously. And I know it gets tricky down in Arizona, but yeah, so they're PST, Pacific Standard Time.
Oh, okay. I legit. All right. So here's the way my mind works. Right. Everything past my time zone is just considered like Western time zone. I don't know what it was. I always thought, all right. That's why I had to ask you before we jumped on. That's why I was like, you're 1 hour, because I remember you said it before, but then I was like, but wait a minute. I know some people in California, they said 2 hours. So I always thought that was the same time zone. I didn't realize that there was like a whole nother time. Okay. All right. Because I don't know that, because there's
exactly.
Because there's us, and then there's like the Eastern is just one. I guess there's just one.
Yeah, that's just one.
Okay. I didn't want to misspeak because I already didn't know that there was 2 in the West. So
yeah, however that works, I don't know, but yeah, 2 to the West, 1 to the East.
Who made that up though? Who decided?
Tell me about it. But no, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What you gonna say?
I was like, who decided that? Because that's a good question. Because how now I want to say coming this fall, right? Where you typically spring forward, fall back. Well, fall of 2023, I want to say we don't have the time zone or the clock change anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So,
wait. Who don't have the clock change?
We might have to table it for a little bit, but I want to say everybody doesn't have the clock change.
Really?
Yeah. So instead of like losing an hour of daylight, in the fall, and how everybody more or less complain. I guess that's an easy word to use. Complain about like it getting dark early. Say you go to work when it's dark, you get off when it's dark. So that hopefully alleviate that. When we get off of work, we'll still have the natural hour of daylight instead of forcing the time to fall back or forward.
Mm. Okay, because like no, I haven't because it's like, all right, like we just said earlier. First of all, who makes all this stuff up? Who decides like we all of a sudden not falling back no more? Like the time is going to stay the same. But who decided that we were doing that in the first place? Because I like my sleep.
Hey, and maybe it's just some time zones, but over the past in the next year.
So a long time ago, I remember I heard they said that the reason why they did the daylight saving time was it for like farmers or something like that?
Yeah, farmers and the crops and having more daylight to like you said, farm and do stuff outside.
Well, not a lot of us do that anymore.
So don't. So
is there like
we're gonna have to get better at fast finding like legitimate sources and stuff like that. But what I'm looking at right now is latest updates. 2 months into daylight saving time 2023, there has been no significant action on the Senate or House bills to make daylight savings time effective year-round. As it stands, daylight saving time will end on November 5th, 2023. But a new study says that the November time change may be the one that hurts. And then it goes on to analysis. So
that's a legit thing that they're doing in like the government.
House bills, Senate. So basically, I mean, the construct was made way back when, but we've been living with it for it seems like, I don't know, forever, I guess. Did you see when daylight savings time started?
Nope. I literally wait on somebody to tell me, or I look and see that my phone done changed.
Okay, so it says in the year 1918, that's when the United States enacted on March 19th, 1918, an act to preserve daylight and provide standard time.
So is this only the US that does this?
That's
it might be a silly question. I don't know, because if because the reason why I asked is because you said that like the Senate and whatever, they getting together to pass a bill on it or whatever, and it's like, all right, but if our government's talking about it and nobody else is talking about it, so then what they doing in like, what I'm saying, like France, you know what I mean? Is it that's a
That's a good question.
Yeah, okay, I see this.
But it is
this article that you're talking about. U.S. Senate approves bill to make daylight saving time permanent. Yeah, okay. It's
interesting. So if we can manipulate time for farmers and a standard time for the United States, does that mean the government has other ways to manipulate time? this is for the benefit,
Right.
This is for the benefit of us common folk, a standard time to give us something systematic, But as we know, everything isn't shared. So
Yeah. So that's why, like, all right, that's an interesting question. Cause like it makes me question, like, all right, how real is time, or like, what is it? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because it's, if it's different, like if anybody can manipulate it and make it be like, all right, we know, we can literally get together and say, no, it's really 10 p.m. right now, right?
mhm,
And
yeah,
and if we get enough people to say that that's true, then that's a true thing, right? It's 10 p.m. and it doesn't matter what anything else or anybody else has believed or what it has been in past, right? Because technically, like, even with daylight saving time, technically that's what's happening, right? So if we're going an hour forward, it's 7 p.m. What we knew to be 7 p.m. At this time is actually 8 p.m. here, right? Um, I'm about to confuse myself. But no, that's an interesting question, because like, hmm, I don't know.
I know. I guess what's absolute is the sun rotating around the earth.
Right.
So we know that, and that's used as a measure of time.
Mhm.
But yeah, but like I said, consciously, we're pretty conscious about time. But if we take the sun out and all that, like if we're just sitting in a dark room,
Mhm.
so to say, you can't see the sun, and we don't have anything to measure. A day has passed.
Mhm.
Then what really is it? How would you measure it with nothing? With nothing, like absolutely nothing. I mean, you can count, yes, but you can't. What could you continuously count and keep intact your mind? Like, okay, I know. After a certain while, I think kind of you lose consciousness of the time,
Right.
and then there will be none. It's just like you're kind of just sitting there.
That's, hey, I feel like if I think about it too hard, I'm gonna like trip myself out. It's like,
Yeah,
because all right. So I had this question. I had this question before, because with time, like, all right, like I watch like all these other videos and stuff like that, and sometimes they talk about like um it might be getting too far off, so I'll try to keep it. But it was like they were talking about like parallel universe and all that stuff. But I'll just keep it to where we're at within time, right? I asked this question once because I was curious, like, what would it be? Do you think it's possible that, because I say this because let me frame it, right? Because earlier we were talking uh about like, all right, if when the new year hits, right? Technically, the East Coast is getting the new year first, so they're in the future, and we're still in our present. We're in the present time, but to them, that's the past. That was last year, technically, according to like the time. But um, can is it? Do you think that it could be that future, past, and present can all exist at the same time? Like all the things that we know from history, all the things, and I'm going to say this because there's a reason why I'm saying this. All right. All the things that we know from history, all the things that are happening, like right now, us having this conversation, and then what's going to happen, right? Can it all exist at the same time? Reason why I ask this is because of uh the Mandela effect, right? So like I
Put
say,
me on.
huh?
Put me on Mandela effect.
All right.
I may know what it is, but it's not ringing a bell.
You know what it is. It's just like, all right, so the Mandela effect is that everybody believes there's a group of people, there's enough people that believe one thing to be true, like the Shazam movie, right? The
Okay, okay,
Shazam movie,
okay,
everybody believes that Sinbad played Shazam,
yep,
but it didn't actually happen. But there's a lot of people, including myself, but we'll get into that.
yep.
That's
Me
something
too.
for another day. You too, you remember it too?
Yep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember. Yeah.
Bro, I asked my mama, I was like, didn't you watch this with me? Because I remember watching this as a kid, and she said yes. She thought she remembered it as well. So if there are people that actually believe that that existed, but now says that it never existed, that it never happened, it was actually Shaq that played Kazam. But I remember both. I do remember Shaq being in Kazam, but I also remember Shazam with Sinbad. or whatever it was called. I think it was Shazam. Yeah. Could it be now? It might be a little too far-fetched, but I'm saying the reason why I say that, can everything be at the same time, and that maybe something different happened, right? Like, could it have been that there's a past, present, and a future that's existing at the same time, right? So to speak, and that something different happened in this part that caused this to not happen, that causes this to happen, right? So like something different happened here to where Shazam does not exist, but for whatever reason, there's some people that remember it and nobody and other people don't. And now we're here where it never existed. You know what I mean?
Okay. So would it have existed in the past to make us believe that there was a movie Shazam with Sinbad? Or not in the past, I guess, but like you said, this might be too much. The alternate timeline, you know?
Exactly.
Because we're taking stuff pieces from.
I was trying not to say that. I was trying not to say that.
Yeah.
I was trying to say pieces. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we're taking.
All right, so look, you messed up now, ain't you? See, that's how it is in my head, and I feel like if I think about it too hard, I'm really gonna be messed up about it. Because if you said you remember, I remember it, and then there's also a community on the internet that remembers it. Why does it not exist?
Yeah, exactly.
And somewhere. And for those that don't know what the Mandela effect is, the Mandela effect came about because there's a group of people that believed at one point that Nelson Mandela actually passed away in prison back in 86 or something like that. But in actuality, he didn't pass away until like the 2000s. Like he had actually been alive the whole time. So so when I was reading about that, they were saying that with the Mandela effect, with Nelson Mandela, the reason why they think that people might have believed that he had passed because there was another leader, I think in the same area, South Africa. Yeah, that there was another leader that was doing similar things to him at the same time that did pass away at that time. And they think that the reason why Mandela effect happens is that there are two things that are happening at the same time that people associate with one another. So like the whole Sinbad and Shazam, he apparently had a movie that came out at the same time that Kazam came out, and people have since associated the two in the same time. You know what I mean?
Got you. Okay.
And so therefore our memories have created this thing. But I remember a movie, whatever.
Yeah. So was there never a movie where Sinbad played a genie?
No, apparently he said there wasn't either.
That's why I remember that watching that interview too. So.
Yeah. And then they teased everybody and made like a little short or something like that. You saw that?
Yeah. Yeah. So it was Kazam with Shaq. I do remember that.
Yeah.
And no Shazam. All right.
Yeah. But that's an apparent thing. There's a whole list of Mandela effects too. You know, like it was crazy. It had me thinking about there was one because I used to play Pokemon growing up, and apparently like there was one that people believe Pikachu had a black tip on his tail. He never had one. His tail's always been yellow, but it's brown at the bottom or something like that. And I was like, it had me thinking about that. I was like, man, I got one of the old games here at the house right now. I can pull it up. Might be true. They might be right. Maybe we put that together. There's, it might be a stretch, but
yeah. So okay. I'd be curious to look something up sometime too.
But that's why I asked my original questions, because like the stuff like that.
It seems that circling back around to it. I mean, easy answer seems like it would be yes. Past, present, and future just happened at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you think about it, if you want to be literal in a sense, every second that passes is the past. So we're always, in the present, and then the future is literally it is. It seems like it all just flows together to me.
Yeah.
So that's why I say yes, it's happening at the same time.
Yes. Yes. I
But
no, go ahead.
no, but I think I have a feel that you're talking about like literal past. So like saying a certain amount of years ago, maybe something like that. Is
Mhm.
that how you're thinking about it?
Uh, like, oh, like, am I thinking about it from a sense of like, all right, this time period right here is going on like
Yeah,
this?
represents the past. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess so. I guess like I was just thinking about it in totality, like as a whole, like could it all just be concurrent? Like it's all going in the same direction. You know what I mean? Uh but I mean,
Okay.
I wouldn't know how to, I don't know how to phrase that because it's such a foreign concept to me. You know what I mean? Like it's just something, it was just something that I was thinking about because of these things. Okay. And here's another reason why that I was thinking about it, because like, all right, I remember as a kid, you know, damn crazy. This really did happen. Oh shoot. Anyway, sorry, it said the time thing. We got 10 minutes, but it's okay. All right. Anyway,
No, it's good.
because when I was a kid, I had this dream, right? I had this dream that I was in visiting family in Virginia. And I might have been like 10 years old. And I had this dream I was visiting family in Virginia. We used to go there every summer. We went out there, and in this dream, we were having a water gun fight, right? We went to the woods. My cousin got stung by a bee. He said, "Hey, watch out, there's bees in here." And and then I kept going further into the woods, and I stepped, and I can hear a buzzing sound, right? So as I hear this buzzing sound, I just turn around, I run, I trip over this log that was in the woods. I get up, brush myself off, and keep running. I run out to the little gravel road, because there's a gravel road. And then right there, I wake up. I was like screaming and stuff. I was screaming in my dream, not when I woke up, but I was screaming in my dream, and then I wake up from that. All right. I kid you not. The next year, we went to Virginia. Uh, so I'm probably 11 now. We go to Virginia. We decide we're gonna have a water gun fight. We go to the woods. My cousin gets stung by a bee. He says, "Hey, there's bees in here. Be careful." I keep going further into the woods. As I step, I hear some buzzing. I turn around, I run. I trip over a log. I get up, brush myself off, keep running, and I'm running all the way down the gravel road to my grandma's house. And I get down there, I'm in tears. I got a bunch of yellow jackets. I don't know how many was in there. I didn't count. I was distraught. Got stung by a bunch of bees, and they're pulling bees out my back. Now I didn't
Dang.
remember this dream until later, but I did. I know I had the dream because I remember thinking like after all the trauma, I was like, man, this felt like this happened. You know what I'm saying? Like I was feeling that, and then I was like, oh, I had this dream a whole year prior to this event actually happening, right? So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
another reason why like I was thinking about it, because I'm like, all right, so is there anything that I could have, and looking back when I was like, was there anything I could have done differently? Well, yeah, I could have just not went to the woods, but it played out exactly how my dream played out. So I don't know.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. So I get that. Does that fall under deja vu?
Yes, yes, yes. Deja vu. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because things like that, deja vu, Mandela effect. What are any of those things? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Yep. Trying to think if I remember a prevalent deja vu moment. I don't think so. None that I can think of right now. But okay, so if that's the fact, I don't know. How do you look at it? Do you feel that it's like you telling yourself that something's going to happen? You kind of like warning yourself, or what? How do you look at the deja vu or that particular experience right there?
So I guess I really don't know. I mean, because in that particular experience, I feel like yeah, that could have been, and like I'm also a religious man, so
Yeah.
but I believe that comes in the form of like a warning, or and maybe not necessarily always a warning, because I have deja vu, but it'd be about simple stuff like, I'm about to get this cup of tea real quick, and I literally, you know what I'm saying, like But I don't know. I don't know, because I feel like a deja vu type event comes from when you do something so often. I don't know. This is what I used to think, is that it comes from when you do something so often that your mind just tells you like, oh shoot, we've done this before, you know, and you feel like you dreamt it or whatever it may be, but that had never happened. You know what I'm saying? So that was like the first memory I have of
Exactly.
something happening that I had no clue what happened. When we go to Virginia every year. Prior to that, we were going every year anyway. So that was
Yeah.
true.
Okay.
But all the stuff that happened were, was like clip for clip. So I guess I don't know. I don't know
Right.
what that is. I mean, I guess could it be a warning? I don't know.
Hmm. Okay.
But it made me pose that question. Like, oh, could this have already happened? And now I'm
Right. Right.
in my present, I'm reliving this moment that's already happened the exact same way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I got you. I got you. So like, not it doesn't have to necessarily be to you, but just in general, it's happened before, and then we're just living it, and it's happening again,
Yeah.
or for
Yeah.
us in particular.
For in that situation, that's the only one I can speak on, is in that situation it happened to me. So it was like it was something that I had
Yeah.
done before, and I'm just reliving it again.
Okay.
Yeah, baby. Hey, go get your iPad. Sorry.
No, you're good. Good, Nova. Okay. I don't want to change topic, but I just had a thought.
Go
And
ahead.
it kind of goes back to the sitting in a dark room and then like not being conscious. So you know when when you're experiencing something and it seems like time either speeds up or slows down
Oh yeah, 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 for sure.
in that moment. So I don't want to be too dark, but s- the folks that went to venture to see the Titanic.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
thinking of how the submarine went down. They figured out there was a malfunction or whatever, and then they started to ascend, and knowing that they weren't ascending fast enough or whatever was happening in that moment,
Mhm.
it had to feel like a lifetime. Like there's no way that it could have felt like a split second, because you're conscious of every single thing that's happening in that
Mhm.
moment. So maybe so time doesn't necessarily speed up like physically, but your
Mm.
perception of time is skewed. So that leads me back to that leads me back to the manipulation of time. Kind of back to like I said, the daylight savings,
Yeah.
spring forward, fall back. So maybe they have some mind control.
Hmm.
There has to be something that throws you off your game, and you can't just your perception is all off.
Yeah.
I, I don't know how you would mentally or physically respond to that, but I don't know. It's just a thought I had, like, because there's definitely times where it's doing something adrenaline,
Mhm.
adrenaline's popping, and like you like say I'm snowboarding or something, and I fall,
Yeah.
and it seems like time just slows down, and I'm just conscious of. I realize everything that's happening, so I don't know.
So it turned to a
It's
BET movie. I bet you're wondering how I ended up here.
a
It
heightened sense
all
of state,
started.
a heightened. It all, yeah, it all started. I was making the turn. I caught the edge, but yeah. Hmm.
Hmm.
So yeah, that really makes me think of what really can be done. Like, because if that happens to us, personally, I don't like if I wonder what studies and stuff like that have
Yeah.
found
That is,
related to time perception, people's perception.
we're gonna have to do we might have to do a round 2 on this one because we got less than a minute left.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was about to say I'm about to wrap us because we're running short on time. We're running short on time. But
On time. See?
yeah.
Okay.
Hey, we're gonna have to run this back. We'll be back at it next week. We're gonna jump back on this. We're gonna have to do a part 2 because we need to dive deeper, a little bit deeper on this. So we appreciate you. If you tuned in, thank you. Go share it. And yeah, we'll be back. Peace.
Peace.